This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
The Los Angeles Dodgers faced the Atlanta Braves at Atlanta Stadium for a Monday night game on April 8, 1974. The crowd was packed on this night for one reason, or rather, one person, Hank Aaron. Hank had tied Babe Ruth's all-time home run record on opening day in Cincinnati, and this was his first game of the season in Atlanta, and he was still sitting on 714. Los Angeles was managed by Walt Alston in his 21st season with the club. The Dodgers were still an excellent team, but kept falling short, having finished in second place in the NL West in each of the previous 4 seasons, thanks in most part to the Big Red Machine in Cincinnati. Atlanta was managed by Eddie Matthews in his 3rd season as manager. Eddie was part of the 1-2 home run punch of the 1957 World Champion Braves, along with 23-year-old Hank Aaron. Most of you are probably familiar with the Atlanta radio broadcast of this game, featuring Milo Hamilton as the announcer, but this audio recording is from the KABC Los Angeles radio broadcast, featuring announcers Vince Scully and Jerry Doggett.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. Under threatening skies in Georgia, we'll find out in an hour or two just whether Henry will do it or not tonight. And a full house waiting, hopefully, that they will be able to see it. And, of course, then the story will go down from children to grandchildren about I was there the night that Henry did it. Davy Lopes, Bill Buckner, and Jimmy Warren against Ron Reed. While everybody concentrates on Aaron, naturally, the Dodgers trying to keep a winning streak alive. And Davy Lopes takes the start. There is considerable pressure on everybody involved, particularly the umpires. In what could be Aaron's finest moment, we also have the threat of rain. The strike one pitch is outside, 1-1. The plate umpire is Dave Davidson. It is his 5th year in the National League. Frank Cooley at first. It is his 3rd year in the league. Ed Sudol, I assume, is the crew chief. He's the veteran of the quartet. There's another strike to Lopes. Eddie is the second base umpire in his 17th year in the National League. And at third, Lee Wire in his 14th year. So I would think that the second base umpire, Eddie Sudol, has a big responsibility tonight. 2-2. I mean, just imagine if Aaron hits it, and then we start to get rain in the 3rd and the 4th inning. You wouldn't want to carry that load on your shoulders. Ron Reed's 2-2 pitch to Davy Lopes is fouled away. Davy off to a fine start, as are the Dodgers. Lopes at .333, he is 5 for 5 in stolen bases. The Dodgers had pretty much their own way with Atlanta. They won 6 out of 8 here, and all 9 played in Dodger Stadium last year. Reed's pitch is fouled back, and so Lopes is still there, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is a strange night in baseball. Normally, the celebrations are conducted after the fact. And yet, before the ball game tonight, all of the balloons went skyward, all the praise, all the speeches, all the bunting. And, of course, it just seems right, I guess, in a sense that the Dodgers could be involved in the record breaker. They've been involved in so many. There's 4-3 to Davy Lopes. Jerry and I have considered ourselves extremely fortunate to have been involved in so many exciting moments, but particular milestones and record breakers. The 3-2 pitch is strike 3 called, and Davy was gone to first base. Bill Buckner, the batter. Going way back to the drama of a Bobby Thompson home run, which was memorable, but not a record breaker. Going through the first Dodger World Championship, which was memorable and in a sense a record breaker, since it's the only one for the borough of Brooklyn. Bill Buckner takes ball 1 outside. Then the move across to California. And then the tremendous individual accomplishments by men in Dodger uniforms. And you go back and think that Maury Wills breaking the great Ty Cobb's record, and nobody ever thought that would be broken. And even Hoyt Wilhelm had to finish up his career with the Dodgers, and every time Hoyt came in a game, he broke the record of Cy Young, and no one ever thought that record would be broken. The 1-0 pitch to Buckner is a bouncer over the mound, back a second. Johnson has it, throws to first, and gets it. it up to the Dodgers to be involved in 2 perfect games. And for extra window dressing, one of them for the world to see in the World Series when Don Larson pitched his masterpiece. Followed that up with the perfect game of Sandy Koufax. Then along came Don Drysdale with his string of consecutive scoreless innings. And now the Dodgers are on hand, and we'll find out about the Braves. The pitch to Jimmy Wynn is low, ball 1, 1-0. Aaron is hitting 4th in the lineup. Ron Reed comes back to the plate, 1-0, and the breaking ball is low, ball 2, 2-0. Shallow center field has been painted in the stars and stripes and the outline of the United States, and they had various youngsters positioned showing where Aaron hit 100, 200, and all the way to where he is now. The pitch to Jimmy Wynn, a strike, and the count 2-1. The press box is literally bursting at the seams. Reporters have come from as far away as South America. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a high pop fly on the right side, and it'll be Mike Lum waiting and makes the catch. The crowd has seen the Dodgers disposed of, and now they get a little itchy because maybe Henry will come up in the first inning. And at the score at the end of the half an inning, Dodgers nothing, Braves coming up. Ralph Guard starting off, and Al Downing sharing a spotlight of his own now. The quiet left-hander, nicknamed Gentleman Al, waiting for a piece of paper to be grabbed around home plate and put away, and Ralph Guard snatches at it, stuffs it in his hip pocket, and we're about ready. With the wind coming in gusts, we might have swirling paper and dust throughout the evening. All right, Ralph Guard at the plate. Al Downing into the windup, left-hander ready and delivers, and there's a bouncer right back to Al. One-handed, throws him out. One away, and Mike Lum the batter. One of the things that Downing has to do is to pitch his game despite the crowd. You know how this crowd will react if Downing tries to hit a corner and misses with Aaron. And every time it's ball 1 or ball 2 or ball 3, the crowd will just boo something awful. And he will certainly have to hold on to his professional dignity and concentration. The pitch to Mike Lum is high, ball 1. So there are all kinds of angles of pressure attached to this one tonight. Eddie Sudol, the umpire, Al Downing, the pitcher, and of course, the man himself. The pitch to Lum is low, ball 2, 2-0. Downing checking into the windup, and the 2-0 pitch on the way is driven to deep right field. Looking down the line as it goes foul. And Mike Lum, the kid from Hawaii, really shook him up, but he pulled it foul. And they count 2-1. On deck, Darrell Evans. A sellout crowd in Atlanta. And Al Downing going back to work. One away. First inning, no score. Now Downing into the windup, and Al delivers and gets a strike on the inside corner. 2-2. Downing was a 9-game winner last year against the Braves. He was 2-0 against Atlanta last year, 5-0 lifetime. Now the 2-2 pitch is swung on a high chopper back to Downing. He gloves it, throws him out. 2 down, and here is Darrell Evans. Evans, a strong home run threat in his own right. Evans has 4 hits, including a home run and 4 RBIs, so he's already been up to his old trick. And of course, out on deck, as they call him in Georgia, the Hammer. And it's up to Darrell Evans now to extend the inning, or we'll have to wait for inning number 2 to see Henry. Downing into the windup. They have a modified shift on Evans, who grounds one to Wolf. He's up with it, and we won't see Henry till next inning, and the tension will mount just a little bit longer. So the Braves are gone on ground balls, and at the end of an inning, no score. We go to the second inning here in Atlanta just to complicate matters and to increase some pressure on the senior umpire, Ed Sudol. A light rain begins to fall. We're not not sure of the up-to-the-minute weather forecast. They talked about first tornadoes, then they removed that 2 hours ago. Then they talked about possible showers, and then finally they were saying it looks like we'll be all right. So it could be that we're just getting the edge of a storm, which has gone by this area. Joe Ferguson, followed by Willie Crawford and Ron Say, and Ron Reed delivers. Fastball for a strike. Well, if you possibly can, don't go wandering off now, because Henry Aaron is due to lead off the second inning. Here's the strike one pitch. That's in there for a strike, 0-2. How would you like to be caught on a hot dog line? I wonder if anybody would dare go to the concession stand between now and Aaron's time. Here comes a strike two pitch. Outside, ball 1, 1-2. The raindrops causing the well-prepared crowd to putting on raincoats and opening up umbrellas. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and down goes Ferguson. So Ron Reed strikes out his second, and the batter is Willie Crawford. Willie Crawford comes into the game hitting .400. Marvelous thrill it must be for Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Aaron, Henry's mom and dad, up from Mobile, sitting in the club box, waiting for their son to break an all-time record. The pitch low ball 1, 1-0. There is a vast difference, however, between the two men involved, Babe Ruth and Henry Aaron. If you're old enough, you might remember during World War II, there were stories coming out of the South Pacific that the Japanese infantry, trying to find out where the American emplacements were, figured out what could we do to get the Americans angry enough to holler back, and then we'd know where they are. So who did they curse? They cursed Babe Ruth. Boy, you really have to be something when you have a reputation for greatness. There's a ground ball that's short, and Crawford is gone two away. Let's pause quickly for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. Down second inning, no score. Henry Aaron is due up first in the bottom of the second. Day beats it foul into the dirt, and the count 0-1. It is barely a rain. A light mist would be more like it. A very strong wind blowing out to right, but the ballpark is completely enclosed, and the wind should not be a factor. The pitch to Say, slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jim Gilliam coaching at first. Tommy Lasorda over at third. Ron Reed ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. On the inside corner for a strike. 1-2. The wind swirling the bunting draped along the railing, going down the right field foul line. Is the 1-2 pitch to Say. Swung on, hit off the back of Reed, deflected to Lum, who stepped on the bag. So Ron Say hit it off the pitcher's back as he turned around in his follow-through, and the play goes 1-3. And don't you know it's raining hard now? What an ironic twist. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Bottom of the second inning, no score in the ball game. In a light rain in Atlanta, the senior umpire, Eddie Sudol, has huddled with the umpires and swinging 2 bats, waiting his first of who knows how many dramatic at-bats, is Henry Aaron. Aaron is standing a good 30 feet away from home plate while Al Downing makes his warm-up tosses. The crowd, of course, begins to applaud as Henry takes a step and then another, and as he begins to walk up to home plate, the crowd gives him a standing ovation. He throws the dark practice brown bat away, and the familiar number 44 checks into the batting box to a standing ovation here in Atlanta. Joe Ferguson, mask on, but leaned over and evidently said something. And Al Downing, who also wears 44, who sat on the bench when Roger Mount Checking and Ferguson wigwagging a few signs out. The 1-0 pitch to Aaron is taken for a strike. Outside corner at the knees, 1-1. Henry hit 2 home runs against Downing last year in April in Los Angeles, later on here. Downing squinting in through the raindrops, and the 1-1 pitch to Aaron is bounced in front of the plate. So the crowd now applies the pressure. For Downing, he doesn't want to walk Aaron. He doesn't want anybody to point the accusing fingers. He's just trying to pitch his game. Dave Davidson trying as best he can to concentrate on the strike zone. And there's Henry all the while, poker face, pumping that word back and forth. 2-1 fastball is low. Ball 3. Aaron, I'm sure, is hitting at all times, whether the count be 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. Downing checking, Aaron waiting, and the 3-1 pitch is outside ball 4. Not right now, Henry, as he got to first base. So Aaron draws his walk, and the batter will be the center fielder, right-hand batter, Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker comes into the game hitting .231. Right-hand hitting center fielder, good running speed, good power. Had a fine year for Atlanta last season. Darby holding the bag on Aaron, who takes his lead. Baker waiting at the plate, and Downing deals and gets the strike. They have held Henry Aaron up to the X-ray light. They have written everything imaginable. They have said everything imaginable about him. They've even published a 40-page supplement to the local newspapers to tell about Aaron. And the press kit is immense, all about Aaron, the pitch to Baker outside. And Jerry was reading it a little before and spotted a note about Aaron, the base runner, way back in his Jacksonville days. And on a great night, it might not be bad for humility's sake to point it out. A high chopper over the head of Ron Shea in the left field for a hit. Aaron goes to third. The ball goes right through Buckner, and Henry Aaron scores. The third goes Baker, and they get him. Dusty Baker, a head-first dive, is shaken up. And Baker gets up very slowly and almost groggily as he hits the bag hard. So he'll get a base hit. Buckner will draw an error, and Aaron a run scored. And it's 1-0 Atlanta. No run batted in, of course. Anyway, when Aaron was just a kid in Jacksonville in his first year in professional baseball, they tell a story about the game he played where 3 times during the game he stole second base. The pitch to Davy Johnson hit foul and the count 0-1. Well, what makes it a memorable story is each time the young Henry Aaron stole second base, and each time the second baseman pulled a hidden ball trick on him and tagged him out. He's had a lot of memorable days. That has to be a forgettable one for sure. The pitch to Davy Johnson outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1. The count to Davy Johnson. Now Downing back to the plate, and it's lifted into center field. Coming up is Jimmy Wynn. Still coming and makes the catch. So a little fly ball to center, 2 down. And that'll bring up the catcher, Vic Correll, who joined the Braves from the Boston Red Sox at the start of the season. He played at Pawtucket last year. He makes his home in Georgia. Joe Ferguson holds his hands and arms apart and then brings them together as if he's playing an imaginary accordion. And that's what he wants. And Jimmy Wynn is waved slightly over towards right center, and then Ferguson holds his hands up and says, that's fine. Downing checking with Fergie. Into the windup, works the plate, and he bounced it, ball 1. A rainy night in Georgia, but that is only small potatoes concerned with the entree, and that is Mr. Henry Allen. The 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. No bruise when you miss the strike zone to Vic Correll. But when you miss the strike zone to Henry Allen, it tear the skies down. Braves leading 1-0 in the second inning, a jam-packed house. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Is the ground ball sharply speared by Russell. A full turn, he throws him out. Excellent play by Bill to get Correll. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Nobody left. And at the end of 2, Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. We can dug in a couple of scores quickly. The Giants kept it going. They knocked off Cincinnati today, 4-3. The Akisto beat Nelson, Redmond and Maddox home runs. In the American League, there was just 1 game schedule. The Yankees beat Cleveland 5-3. So we're all alone tonight, and rightfully so, as Henry Allen is 1 away from making Babe Ruth's record. He needs 1, and boy, I don't know what they're going to do here after the great pregame show. I don't know what they can possibly do if and when he hits it. Well, let's go to the third. 1-0 Atlanta. For more play-by-play, here's Jerry Doggett.
All right, Benny, and Steve Garvey steps in. Ron Reed delivers, and Steve swings and misses strike 1. Reed looks to be keyed up for the ball game tonight. And, of course, the big crowd and the fact that this is a big night for the Atlanta Braves. And Reed seems to be really psyched up so far. There's a high bouncing ball to third. Evans waits for a hop. Up with it on the grass. Strike! Garvey beats it out as Darrell waited for the ball and then had to re-grip it. And he's too late with it, and Garvey legs it out. So the Dodgers get their first hit of the game, an infield single, and here is Bill Russell. Made a fine play on Correll to close out the second inning. The run that the Braves have is unearned, as the Dodgers had an error by Buckner on the play. Not allowed Aaron to score. He would not have scored on the fly ball by Johnson that followed had he stayed at third base. In fact, he would not have gone to third had Buckner not bobbled the ball. Here's the pitch coming in low, ball 1. Russell backs out now. Has a look at third base coach Tommy Lasorda. Al Downing is out on deck. A cool evening in Georgia. No rain at the moment. The pitch comes in 2-0, ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes. This might be the biggest crowd we've seen in this ballpark. The Dodgers back in the Koufax days, when Atlanta first came into the league, had some big crowds. Now the 2-0 pitch, taken for a strike. 2-1 to Russell with Downing on deck and Lopes to follow. The Braves lead 1-0. The Dodgers clobbered the Braves last year 15 out of 17 times. Atlanta won 1 and lost 2 in Cincinnati. The Braves players feel they could have won all 3 games. There's a curveball and a fly ball into right center field. Well hit, going forward is Gar and Baker. Still going, and Gar can't get it. He bounces over his head. Here is Garvey going to third. Russell stops at second base on a long double to right field. So Russell gets one up in the booth and drives it over Gar's head into right field. Baker tried to catch up with it. He couldn't get to it. Garvey had to wait to see if the ball would be caught. And when it dropped, he came on to third and had to stop there. So the Dodgers have a threat, a single and a double, and Al Downing will be the batter. So for Russell, a 2-base hit. Bill came into the game hitting .364. Here's Al Downing stepping in now. Al, right-hand batter up, and the pitch for Reed. A swing and a missed strike 1 as he got a breaking pitch. Davey Lynch on deck, and Bill Buckner to follow. Downing in the batter's box, waiting now. Ron Reed checking signs once more. The stretch and the look and the pitch to Al. And a missed strike 2. Al is a hitter, hit .135 in the National League, and .088 last year. He had 3 RBIs. There's a swing and a foul off to the right out of play, and the count is still strike 2 to Downing. Al had 5 hits, 2 of them were doubles. Lifetime average is 129, 135 in the National League. Strike 2 count to Al. Runners on at second and third. There's a line drive base hit to center field. That'll get 1 in. Russell started back to the bag, and now have to stop at third. looked for a moment like the shortstop Robinson might have a play. So rather than get caught in a double play, Russell broke back toward the bag and then was able to come only to third. But the Dodgers get caught up as Downing slams a single to center, and the ball game is all even. Runners on at first and third, and the batter now will be Davey Lope. So Al Downing helps himself with a single into center field, and the rain is beginning to come some more. Well, the rain has been starting and stopping here consistently, and we had a real downpour about 3 hours before the game. Right now, Downing gets the windbreaker on, waiting for Davey Lope, who has a towel in his hand off to the right, wiping off the bat. And to pops open the umbrellas. It's a wet night in Georgia. Here's Davey Lope's at bat. Davey struck out first time up. Nobody out. The Dodgers have runners on at the corners. The pitch on the way. Davey takes high from Reed, ball one. The count. Well, it'd be a shame for the rain to mar this festival occasion. A huge crowd, one of the biggest in the Braves' history. Pitch to Davey, a ground ball to third. And they'll go to the plate to try to get Russell in a rundown, and he's tagged out. Russell broke for home, and instead of going for the double play, Evans went for the front runner and gets him. So Lopes is on first, Downing is on second, Russell is out from third base to the catcher. And the batter will be Buckner. It's surprising at this stage of the game that Evans didn't go for the double play, but he figured that he would better get the runner at the plate, so that's what he did. All right, here's Buckner at bat. Billy grounded out his first time up. Time call now by Mike Lum, the first baseman. Lum is checking something with Reed, calls time, and he wanted to keep the paper flying around in the outfield. All right. There's a whole bunch of it in left field. Here's the pitch on the way to Buckner. Foul off third, out of play. Ball game tied 1-1, third inning. Downing on second base, and Davey Lope's on at first. The Dodgers a perfect 3-0 opening the season against San Diego. The Padres will entertain Houston tomorrow night in their home opener in San Diego. Strike one count. The drizzle's still with us. Here's the pitch. Fastball is away, and it's ball one, strike one now to Billy Buckner. Buckner's hitting .222. He has only 2 hits and 9 at-bats so far in the year. And 1 run batted in. The wind is blowing from left toward right, and it's at a pretty good clip. Now the pitch pops up foul off third. Could be a play. Darrell Evans comes through the coaching lines. He's there, and he has it. So Buckner pops up foul to third baseman Evans, and Jimmy Wynn will come on now. Wynn pops up to first baseman Lum his first time up. Jimmy has a great start. 7 hits, 7 RBIs, 3 home runs, and he's hitting .538. So Wynn off to a great start. 2 out. Runners at first and second. Ball game is even at 1-1. Ron Reed ready to pitch to Wynn. Half swing, checked up, ball one. Well, Wynn has really gotten off to a good start for the Dodgers. This is the first of a 4-game series in Atlanta. Paper again blowing across the infield. Curve is low, and it's ball two. There are big pieces of paper in the outfield as if they were parts of newspapers. In the infield, the plastic wrappers from the hot dogs or the sandwiches. 2-0 count. Now again, the look and the pitch to Win. Ground ball past third down the left field line. Base hit. Here comes Downing to score. Here comes Lutz around third. He's headed home. Here's the relay coming to the plate. He will be safe at home on a double by Jimmy Wynn down the left field line. The Dodgers lead 3-1, and Jimmy Wynn has driven in 2 more runs. 9 on the year as he doubles down the left field line. So Wynn, a 2-base hit, drives in Downing and Lope, and the Dodgers are in front 3-1. Boy, Jimmy Wynn is really having a blazing start to his year. The Dodgers acquired Wynn hoping he would knock in runs. But boy, he's at 9 now in 4 games. Here's Ferguson at bat. Wynn edges off second. Reed delivers to Fergie. A swing and a foul back. Strike one. So Jimmy Wynn wraps one just down the left field line. Standing away from second base. Ferguson waiting. Still hitting .300 on the year. 3 for 10 with 1 RBI. Fastball is in for a strike, and the count goes 0-2 to Ferguson. And on deck is Willie Crawford. Garvey an infield hit. Russell a double to right. Downing a single to center. And now Wynn a double to left. Here's Reed's pitch to Fergie. Half swing, strike, ball, and the side is retired. Ferguson is out on strike for the second time tonight. That is the third strikeout for Reed, but the Dodgers score 3 runs on 4 hits and leave 1 to score at the end of 2.5 innings of play. Dodgers 3 and Atlanta 1. Henry Aaron has not hit the home run tonight, but he has set another National League record. He has just scored his 2,063rd run, which gives him 1 more than Willie Mays and puts him third on the all-time list behind Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth in runs scored. So Henry, whose name is in a lot of places in the record book, gets 1 more now as he sets a new National League record for runs scored in a career, 2,063. Shortstop Craig Robinson, followed by Ron Reed and then by Ralph Goss, who go to play in the last half of the third inning. The Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves from Atlanta, Georgia, on a damp evening, so we keep 1 eye on the weather, and it's just a light mist coming down now. All right, Al Downing leading by 3-1, ready to go to work with the shortstop Craig Robinson. Robinson last year with Philadelphia hit .276. Written down the numbers wrong. Here's the pitch on the way to Robinson. A bouncer foul off to the left, and the count goes strike 1. 0-1 the count. He had .276 at Eugene and .226 at Philadelphia. Strike 1's count to the little shortstop. He's trying to nudge Marty Perez out of the job on the Braves infield. Now Downing ready, Al delivers. Breaking ball outside all the way to the backstop. It's got by Ferguson. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The Dodgers just beginning a long road trip. 4 here, 3 in Houston, 2 in Cincinnati, and then back home with the Giants on the 19th, a week from Friday. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball strike, and it is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Robinson, batting 8th in the order. The Dodgers lead over the Braves here. Changeup fouled at the plate, and the count is still a ball and 2 strikes. Now ready, Downing checking. Up he goes, and the pitch half swing, and he checked in time, and it's 2-2. A huge crowd here in Atlanta. The Dodgers are involved in some of the top crowds in Atlanta. In fact, the first and second largest and the 5th largest crowd. So the Dodgers play here. It's high for ball 3, 3-2. In August of 1966, the Dodgers and the Braves played to 52,270. In June of that same year, they had played to 51,275. Here's the pitch there, high, and on with a walk as Robinson as Reed comes up. First walk from Downing. Also in 1966, on June the 25th, the Dodgers and the Braves played to 47,226. So on June 25th, 47,000. On June 26th, 51,000. And on August the 9th, 52,000. Somebody has floated an umbrella on the field in right field. And it apparently got away. Willie Crawford will go out to retrieve it. Somebody's umbrella came flying out of the stand. So the stadium capacity is around 53,000, between 52 and 53. We don't have the exact number. But the Dodgers have the high total. Here's a tough foul by Reed back into the screen, strike 1. They had a announced the sellout prior to the game, but we can see a few vacant seats upstairs, so maybe those folks have gone outside to get away from the raindrops. Runner on at first. The Braves got a run in the second. The Dodgers picked up 3 in their half of the third. 3-1 Dodgers over the Braves here in the third inning. Al Downing working. Reed at bat. Say is in on the grass. Garvey breaks to the plate. The pitch is low for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Reed was around to bunt it again. Downing can go to work on Reed here in the third inning. Ron Reed waiting at the plate. The bunt is off now. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 man out as Downing gets set to go with it again. Now the windup and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside. Ball 2. It's 2-1. The writers and photographers from all over the world are here. There are some people from Japan, from Caracas, Venezuela, of course, all over the United States. Reed swings at a sinker and misses strike 2. It's a 2-2 count. The report was that there are somewhere between 200 and 300 accredited reporters. And I don't know whether that includes photographers or not, but they have those special photographers' boxes down on the field, and of course, every nook and cranny upstairs is covered. If Reed strikes out, that's the first strikeout for Al Downing tonight. So there are 2 away, and Ralph Guy will be the batter. Guy bounced out the first time up. So here's Ralph Guy, the roadrunner, stepping in. On the mound, into the windup, and the pitch on the way. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Downing walked Aaron the first time around. We asked Al in the pregame show what he would do, how he would respond to the boos of the crowd, and of course there were many when he walked Aaron. He says, I don't know what's caught up with him. He's right first day in the left field. Stars at first base creek. Say has one get away. Well, that brings up Mike Brown. Anyway, Downing was saying that he would not, of course, walk Aaron intentionally, and he would feel that he knew that he was trying to pitch to him carefully, and if they blew, they would have to do it. He knew better than they did about what he was trying to do. We asked him how he would feel if he was ordered to give an intentional pass to Aaron in the situation that warranted him. He said, I would not want to, but I would, of course, but I'd rather challenge him and pitch to him. Here's one at bat to pitch. Breaking ball is the strike to 1-1. Guy that went right through, say he was playing up on the grass, and Ronnie didn't get the gate down in time, so he's charged with the second error of the game for the Dodgers. All right, 2 outs, 1 on, and a pitch. Breaking ball, strike 2. The Dodgers last year twice walked their 11th to get to Aaron, and in one instance, Aaron beat them a game, and the other they got by with it and got him out. They lost only 2 games to the Braves all last year. One of those in overtime here. With a swing and a strike 3, and down goes one. The side is retired. Downing gets him out. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left in the score at the end of 3. The Dodgers 3, the Atlanta Braves nothing. All right, the Dodgers coming on against Ron Reed, leading 3-1. More play, here's Finney. All right, Jerry. Willie Crawford will start it off. He'll be followed by Ron Say, and then Steve Garvey, and Henry Ann will bat second in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is cold, it is windy, and it is rainy. But the excitement of the moment has kept the crowd right here. Ron Reed looks in to get a sign. Crawford waiting in the big right-hander's pitch. Outside, ball 1.
Henry Aaron scored the run for the Braves in the second inning. The Dodgers came back with 3. 1-0 the count to Willie Crawford. Reed delivers, and he's high this time, ball 2. Ron went to school at Notre Dame, fine basketball player who played some basketball professionally with the Detroit Pistons. But finally elected to stay with baseball, and it's been a happy choice for him and for the Braves. Reed's next one to Crawford is low, and that makes it 3-0. You know, the Dodgers are going to get a formal protest, I think, not about this game. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and Crawford takes a strike, 3-1. The Dodger uniform on the front, under the script Dodgers, is the player's number. Downing's number is a very bright 44. The 3-1 pitch is in on the corner, strike 2. The Braves, and Eddie Matthews in particular, have complained about the shininess of the number on the Dodgers' chest, saying particularly that it distracts the hitter trying to find the ball when the pitcher delivers. Fastball is swung on and missed, and down goes Crawford. As far as the station identification, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
In the 4th inning, with the Dodgers leading Atlanta 3-1, and now what all of us had dreaded is taking place. A couple of kids, and they're not, when I say kids, I don't mean children, come out on the field to shake Aaron's hand, and now they go up the field. So timeout for the moment. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Dodgers. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors for the Braves. The plate. Ron Reed checking his catcher Vic Burrell in the crowd. Lum and Johnson, Robinson, and Evans in the infield. And Say fouls it back out of play. In the outfield, Henry Aaron in left. Dusty Baker in center, Ralph Garr in right. It is the first game of a 4-game series. We had a half-hour pregame show honoring Aaron. In the 4th inning. Reed delivers, and Say hits a high fly ball to right field. Coming up is Garr, and he has to back up a little, and behind him comes Dusty Baker to make the catch. But Reed going out to right field is evidently strong enough to affect the towering fly ball. And so Baker went behind Garr to handle it. 2 down, and the batter is Steve Garvey. Had an infield single in the 3rd inning. He outlegged the throw from Darrell Evans and eventually came around to score. A change is lifted over first base. Slicing foul, Lum in pursuit, and 1 in. Good play by Mike Lum. The Dodgers are gone in order and scored into 3.5 innings. Dodgers 3, Braves 1. Bottom of the 4th inning with the Dodgers leading Atlanta 3-1, and the crowd again especially alive because Aaron is coming out. It'll be Darrell Evans to start things, then Henry Aaron, and then Dusty Baker. Darrell Evans grounded out in the 1st inning. He's 0 for 1. Downing doing a little housekeeping out there on the mound has to retrieve some paper. Because of the wind, my paper's swirling out of the stands, and we have several pieces of paper out on the field right now, but here we go. Downing into the windup, and the pitch to Darrell Evans is low, 4-1. Aaron walked in the 2nd inning. It will be interesting when he comes up again how the crowd will react if Downing misses the strike zone. He misses again to Evans, ball 2, 2-0. Downing has walked 2, and he has struck out 2. Dodgers lead 3-1 in the 4th inning. Darrell Evans back up to the plate. Downing checks his signs now to the windup, and the 2-0 pitch on the way. Is a ground ball behind second. That's where Russell is, and he slips, first it throws, too late. Because of the rain, Russell was positioned to field the ball, and he slipped on the wet grass. He is going to draw an error, and once again, a standing ovation for Henry Aaron. There's a confrontation for the second time. Aaron walked in the second inning. He means the tying run at the plate now. So we'll see what Downing does. Now at the first, delivers, and he's low. Professional and pitches game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. In the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers. He is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth. You could not, I guess, get 2 more opposite men. The Babe, big and garrulous and oh so sociable, and oh so immense in all of his appetite. baseball players in pinstripe uniforms because it made Ruth look slimmer. But they didn't need pinstripe uniforms for Henry Aaron in the twilight of his career. He looked almost the same as he did when he first came up 20 years ago. And so it was a memorable moment before the game, and now what a sweet moment it is here in the middle of the game. Bill Bartholomew, the chairman of the board of the Atlanta Braves, is speaking over the PA system, but with the roar of the crowd, there's no way we can pick it up. Aaron has already received, among other things tonight, a $5,000 check to the Henry Aaron Scholarship Fund. So Henry and the Babe, the two greatest home run hitters that have ever lived. And it's a marvelous, wonderful, enjoyable moment here in Atlanta. We're so happy, too, that it could be seen all over the United States, that it will be duly reported all around the world. And I'm sure films of it will be seen around the world, and you can hear Georgia around the world. Microphone, that technical difficulties here in this vast ballpark would prevent us from picking it up. Henry, start off by saying, I thank God it's all over with. But I'm sure he has thanked God many times that he had to do it to get it all over with, as he becomes the greatest home run hitter in the history of baseball. April 8, 1974, one of the great, if not the greatest moments in recorded sports history, Henry Aaron scored the first run of the game and then hit the two-run home run to tie it up. Even 3-3 in the fourth. There's still a lot of this game left. There'll be more at-bats for Aaron. The Dodger infield standing around with Joe Ferguson. The outfield also, except for Jimmy Wynn, gone back in. The Blues in the background are directed at Commissioner Bowie Kuhn, and I'm sure if you have been following baseball and Aaron and the Braves lineup, you are aware of the fact that the commissioner ordered Aaron to play. And, of course, his name is anathema here in Georgia. And so when the announcement was made, the commissioner is sorry he couldn't be here. Why, that announcement was met with a tremendous amount of boos. Henry Aaron was born February 5th. Babe Ruth was also born February 4th or 5th, I believe. So that would make them Aquarians, in the age of Aquarius. And Ruth and Aaron. One wore number 3, one wore 44. One was a left-handed batter, one was a right-handed batter, and evidently from what we have read of one and what we have known of the other, they were as different as black and white. Aaron is now gone back into the dugout with all of his teammates. Here in the fourth inning, Darrell Evans hit a ground ball. Russell slipped on the wet grass and could not make a play. He was charged with an error, and then Henry Aaron hit it out. And it was a Herculean wallop, or even better tonight, it was a Ruthian wallop. It sailed out just to the right of the 385 sign, and he really had to drill it to hit it out in the rain and with a crosswind blowing from left to right. And so, as Aaron said, it's over. He said, thank God it's over for all of us. We have our own blessings. We feel fortunate just to have been here to see the man do it. And on the message board, another nice thought, that George Herman Ruth also shares this great moment with all of us tonight, because it was Ruth who set the standard of 7-14, and he made the great chase possible. And so here in Georgia, they salute the boy from Baltimore, Maryland, George Herman Ruth. At the bottom, after the tribute to Aaron, it says, "Hail to the Babe." A memorable evening in Atlanta, Georgia. A 3-3 tie. And Aaron has done it. And now Downing is loosening up to Joe Ferguson. What an evening. As we said earlier, what a great moment for all of us. It worked out well, don't you think? Downing is loosening up. On the pregame show, trying to cover all the angles, Jerry had said to Downing, "What will you do if Aaron hits that big home run against you?" And here's what Al said.
Listen, you're on the mound, you make a good pitch, and there it goes, number 715. The crowd cheers, everybody goes crazy. What does Al Downing have to do? What are you going to think about? Gavin woke up the mound and goes in the dugout for about a half an hour because it seems to going to have a lot of festivities going on at that moment. You wouldn't be sad and you wouldn't be happy, I guess. Well, as long as we were up in the ballgame, I wouldn't be sad. If it was a shot that was going to beat me in the midst of the ballgame, that's I would be disappointed that we lost the ballgame, but then again, I'd be really happy for him because he deserves what he's gotten so far, and he's done a tremendous job as far as I'm concerned. He's done a tremendous job for baseball for himself, and when he's 7-15, he's going to deserve it.
Well, he deserved it, all right. He didn't beat him, but he certainly tried, Al Downing. So a 3-3 tie here in the fourth inning with nobody out. Al Downing now out of the dugout, back on the mound, and loosening up. Well, I can get so choked up on one thing. It wasn't Aaron's home run. We've sure seen enough of those. And it wasn't even the Dodger infield shaking his hand as he went by. That's got to be one for the books. But boy, when his mom and dad met him at home plate, look out. That was really something. I mean, his dad hardly made any money at all in Mobile, Alabama when he was a little kid growing up. And now all of a sudden, there they are. Henry was the third child of 8 born to Mr. and Mrs. Thurgood Aaron. In 1934 in Mobile, Alabama, a black family, you know they didn't have very much. And now, indeed, I'm sure the cup has run us over. And now, as yours do, the world takes another turn and life moves on. It's 3-3, and the batter is Dusty Baker, and this crowd is beside itself with joy. Baker takes outside, ball 1. They had a half-hour pregame ceremony, actually only a 10-minute interruption when he popped it. The 1-0 pitch to Dusty, high, ball 2-0. 715 home runs for Henry Aaron. And he did it against the Dodgers here in Atlanta on April the 8th. The 2-0 pitch is high, ball 3-0. Downing leading Ferguson into the windup. And the 3-0 pitch, high, ball 4. Tie in the fourth inning, and the batter would be Davy Johnson, who flied to center in the second inning. Johnson, right-hand hitter, and a home run threat in his own right, with Baker at first held on by Garvey. A 3-3 tie in the fourth. Downing ready and delivers, and the breaking ball is low, ball 1. Johnson backs out for a moment, checking with Connie Ryan. Now he's back up to the plate. 1 ball and no strikes, and Downing delivers, and it's swung on and fouled away. 1-1. There used to be an expression many years ago. In fact, it might even have been a song. The Eagles, they fly high in Mobile. Boy, they got to be flying high in Mobile tonight. The home of Henry Aaron. At least his birthplace. 1-1, the count to Davy Johnson. Downing delivers, and it's grounded foul outside at third, and the count 1-2. Johnson waiting. Rick Corral on deck. Time called by Eddie Sudol, the second base umpire. They want something picked up from behind the home plate area. 1-2. Downing looks over at Dusty Baker, works the plate, and he's low and inside. He is not sharp. He's struggling a bit, and Mike Marshall, bare-armed as usual, is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. 3-3 tie, bottom of the fourth. Downing ready, and the left-hander's 2-2 pitch coming up. He bounced it, 0-3. So Downing has walked two, then he walked Baker after the home run by Aaron. The official time of the home run was 9:07 p.m. in Atlanta. 9:07 in case you care. 3-2 the count to Davy Johnson. Nobody out. Will see what Baker does at first. Downing at the belt. Looks at Baker. He goes. The pitch is low. 4-4. So Downing fighting to stay in the ballgame now. And coming up is Vic Corral, the catcher. And going out to the mound is Walter Olson. Red Adams goes out to talk to a pitcher. Olson usually makes the change. Downing is anything but sharp. He might also be suffering some kind of an emotional letdown or reaction to the home run by Aaron. But he has been a little wobbly, and they're going right to the bullpen. So for Henry Aaron, it's a forgettable night and a memorable one at the same time. Because when they ask him years from now, what was it like the night that Henry Aaron hit the home run to break the Braves' mark? Downing will say, well, I'll tell you one thing. I pitched only two more batters and walked them both, and I was gone. Downing standing on the mound, and Mike Marshall comes jogging in from the bullpen. Here in the inning, Dal Evans aboard on the air, and then Aaron really smashed one. It wasn't a fly ball home run that just made it. He hit it to a deep part of the park and to deep left center field at the 385 mark, and so that's all for Downing. And Mike Marshall takes over, and they give Downing a standing ovation, which is indeed a left-handed compliment. The fact that he gave it a battle and surrendered the home run. We'll never know, and Downing would never be able to tell us. But remember, the first time Aaron came up, he walked. And the next time Aaron came up with the crowd booing, the first pitch was ball one. And somehow, maybe that triggered a reaction in Downing. Well, I'm not going to walk him again. The next thing you know, the big home run was hit. A 3-3 tie. Mike Marshall has come up with a Humpty's uniform. That's the baseball way of describing it. He must have forgotten his shirt. He's wearing number 73, and that's a uniform that would be found on the bottom of a trunk on a bus ride from Vero Beach to Sarasota. So Mike comes in wearing 73. He couldn't care less. A 3-3 tie. First and second, nobody out, and Mike Marshall picks up. Jerry Evans did a lot of chattering about Aaron's home run and the big moment. I'm sure you have thoughts of your own about it.
Well, one of the thoughts I had was, of course, that you were talking about the Dodger players shaking his hand as he went around. And while the crowd was gathering at home plate to wait for him as he got there, Steve Garry, who has been a great inspiration to a lot lot of young kids. And as a kid himself, I'm sure, had followed this player. He stood there and he kind of helped lead the applause, just clapping his hands. I thought that was a little thing aside from the general picture there. One other thought, and we weren't neglectful in this. You might wonder about the ball. It never reached the stand. It hit the concrete wall. It was retrieved. And when Aaron was 20 feet from home plate, the ball was already in his possession. Marshall checks the runners. The pitch to Corral. Waved out and missed on one. I'm not sure who the Braves player was because he had a windbreaker on and glasses. It might have been the still Negro wear glasses. No, I would say that it would be House. Okay, Tom House. But when Aaron had lost home and jogged away, a member of the Braves had the ball and handed it to him. And in a sense, that was good. Not that we want to deprive anybody of money if the ball is worth that much, but we were quite concerned about the possibility of near riot. People fighting each other in the left field stands for what apparently is a valuable piece of merchandise. But it never got to the stands, and it saved, I think, a lot of possible injuries. The pitch to Corral is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Marshall in relief of Al Downing. A 3-3 tie in the 4th. Henry Aaron has done it. He hit a 2-run home run to tie against Downing here in the 4th inning. And then, perhaps bothered by that, Al Downing walked Baker and Johnson. Marshall to his stretch, checks the runners and delivers. Fastball fouled away. That carries upstairs behind the plate. 1-2. Fouled it up there and it lands down below. It will be interesting as years go by, the paid attendance tonight and how many people will have claimed to have been here tonight. But there will be millions who have seen it on television and countless millions more on newscasts. The pitch is high, ball 2. In checking, just as their footnote, Tommy House was the one who gave it to Henry Aaron. They sure got that ball to him in a hurry. He had his arm was around his father, and Tom House had the ball 20 feet after he crossed home plate. A couple of the Braves tried to pick him up, but they were two of the smaller Braves, and they couldn't get him off the ground with all the crowd. So they finally gave it up as a tough assignment. And then Aaron walked away. 2-2 the count. Marshall ready and delivers. Very high. Ball 3. 3-2, the count to Vic Corral. With 2 on and nobody out, a 3-3 tie in the 4th inning. Mike Marshall checked in with Joe Ferguson. Now the right-hander 3-2 fastball. Is it foul outside of third? Try it again. 3-3 in the 4th. A cool night in Atlanta. A pretty stiff breeze blowing out. The threat of a tornado was finally canceled. We've had some rain. And remember, the ballgame is not official yet. It will be a terrible thing, but it's time. Corral is followed by Craig Robinson and then Ron Reed. Marshall checking. Mike Deal. Fastball is hit down the left. He sees Marshall drops it. Everybody safe. Baker at third. Johnson at second. And holding it for Corral. I don't know whether the Dodgers are shaken up over Aaron's home run or what, but Russell dropped a perfect throw to start a double play. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. Loaded and nobody out. Marshall did his job. He got a perfect double play ball. But instead, the Dodgers could not negotiate it. So the bases are loaded with nobody out. Craig Robinson, the shortstop, got all the way to home plate, and he's been called back to the dugout, and that's a road trip here. And they're going to go for a hitter, I believe, to try and get out in
front. Frank Pepperdino, left-hand hitting first baseman, who had been with the Yankees, is going to come up and bat for Craig Robinson. So with the bases loaded and nobody out, the Dodgers blowing a big opportunity, and now Eddie Matthews doesn't want to blow it. He'll send up a better hitter, trying to catch it in. Pepperdino did well against the Dodgers last year. He's 0 for 1 at the start of this young season. 3-3 tie, 3 runs, 4 hits. The Dodgers have played poorly in the field. And we're seeing how the Braves can catch it in. The Dodgers tried with 4 errors up to here. Committed the errors, Buckner and Say, and 2 by Russell. One of the errors by Russell was understandably slipped in the rain on the grass. All right, Mike Marshall gets off the mound, looks out at Davy Lopes, then to Ron Say. Say is up. Garvey is up. Lopes and Russell are back. The outfield playing Pepperdino to full. And Marshall ready to go to work with him. A 3-3 tie, and the Dodgers are in trouble here in the fourth. The first pitch rolling inside. Ball 1, 1-0. The count at Pepperdino. Baker, Johnson, and Corral out on the line. Marshall plants the right foot on the rubber. He's pitching out of the stretch. They are passing out pictures of Henry Aaron to the crowd with the cryptic number 715. The pitch to Pepperdino, a strike in the count, 1-1. A 3-3 tie in the fourth on what is turning out to be a cold night in Atlanta. Marshall, bare-armed as he was in Montreal. At the belt, 1-1 pitch is in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1. The Braves have received 4 walks. The Dodgers have committed 4 errors. The Dodgers are fortunate that this ball game is not out of sight instead of being even. Maybe it's all attributed to the Henry Aaron night. 2-1, the count at Pepperdino. Marshall ready, and Mike deals. Low, ball 3. Well, Marshall turns his back on home plate, thinking over things. Ferguson behind the plate. The infield of Garvey and Lopes. Russell and Say, and the outfield, Buckner, Wynn, and Crawford. Not only did the error take the Braves out of a 2-out situation, it also puts a much better hitter up at the plate. So that error is indeed a damaging one. Ferguson out to pick up a piece of paper in front of home plate. 3-1 the count. A 3-3 tie, bottom of the fourth. The Braves have loaded the bases. Some difficulties, and I can tell you for the first time, honesty being the best policy, that this is a problem here at AFRTS, because I can hear the incoming game from my headset, but you're not getting it somehow, so it's very possible you may not even be hearing me. But anyway, if that is the case, our engineer Ralph Ross is trying to straighten it out. He says he's got it taken care of, so let's get back to the ball game. Marshall Marshall looks to Joe Ferguson. Now Mike Ruddy. 1-2 pitch to Reed. Fastball fouled away. Or first base out of play. So it's still 1-2. 4-3 Atlanta. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Aaron has stolen the show, no matter what the outcome of this one. The headlines across the country, Henry has done it. 1-2, the count to Ron Reed. Marshall delivers, screwball, whiffed at Russell, and the infield fly rule is called by Sudol. One away. That brings up Ralph Garr. Almost impossible to double up Garr. Back to the box and was aboard on an error. So it's 4-3 Atlanta here in the fourth inning. And Gar waiting at the plate. Bases loaded, one away. And Gar, left-hand batter, checks in with Ron Fay on the grass at third. Marshall taking a lot of time. He should be out of the inning. Mike deals, and he's high and outside with it, ball one. He did his job. He got the batter to hit into a double play, and the Dodgers missed it. So it's 4-3 Atlanta, and they're still swinging here in the fourth inning. Marshall checking, Gar waiting. Now Mike's ready. 1-0 pitch. Fastball, swung on and missed. In the count, 1-1. The old story is pretty hard to do it on one pitch in the big leagues, and so Marshall known for his screwball, but every now and then he shoots that express. In the count, 1-1. Johnson, Corral, and Tepedino all out on the line. Ralph Garr trying to pick somebody up, and another left-hand hitter on deck, Mike Lum. Pitch is sliced to left field. Hustler, not a strong arm, makes the catch. Johnson flags and comes home. And it's 5-3 Atlanta. So Davy Johnson carries it home. That run is charged to Downing. And you can close the book on Al. He went 3 innings and allowed 5 runs. 2 hits, but one of them, one of the most dramatic hits in all of recorded history of baseball, the home run by Henry Aaron. Here's Mike Lum with 2 on, 2 out, 4 runs over. 5-3 Atlanta. Marshall ready, Mike deals, screwball, swung on a miss, 0-1. I'll tell you who are extremely thankful that Aaron hit it tonight. The over 200 writers who are here. They were dreading the thought, especially Dodger writers, that Aaron might do it on a getaway night. But now they got plenty of time. 1-1 the count to Mike Lum. Marshall's ball is hit back to Mike. So he does a great job in relief. But the Dodgers played poorly, and they surrendered 4 runs on 1 hit. And what an ovation in left field when Henry Aaron was jogging out there again. The score, the end of 4, Atlanta 5 and the Dodgers 3. The 5th inning here in Atlanta. The Braves are leading 5-3, and a few people are going home. They have seen what they came to see, and as we told you, it's cold and we've had some rain. And so some folks figure that, okay, we've seen enough time, but the majority of this big crowd staying right here. The game is the thing, and it is 5-3 Atlanta in the 5th. Marty Perez has taken over at shortstop for Craig Robinson. Well, I bet the temperature dropped 20 degrees from just before the start of the game to now. on Al Downing. The voice on the PA system in the press box that Downing, 3 innings plus, 5 runs, 2 hits, walked 4. And then 2 strikeouts and the home run. Braves 5, Dodgers 3. Bill Russell, who has had a rough night, committing 2 errors, and the errors have led to 4 runs. So Russell checks in. Then it'll be Mike Marshall. And after Marshall, Davy Lopes. Russell swings, doesn't get it. 0-1. 0-1 the count. Back comes Ron Reed, and is a high chopper to shortstop. Perez clubs it and throws to first for the out. In time to cover the Aaron story for you, we had Downing interviewed before the game as to how he would feel and what it would be like and what he would do if and when Aaron hits a home run. And he did exactly what he said. He was going to go in the dugout and sit down and watch the ceremony. Then we have a quote now from Downing as to how it feels in reality, now that it has been hit, now that you're all alone in the clubhouse, now that your ball game has gone down the drain, and here's what he said.
That was a 7-15 problem. What kind of a pitch did he hit? Well, it was a fastball there. It was late down in the upper part of the plate. I tried to get it down to him, but I didn't get it down, and he hit it. Give it his look. The fact that they booed you when you left him in the second inning, did this disturb you? No, I didn't have good rhythm out there all night. I didn't have what you would call good control, and when I got behind him, I was trying to get the ball up, but the ball just kept sinking me. It didn't bother me, though. You pitched 5 pitches to him in the second inning, and then, of course, 2 pitches in the fourth inning when he hit the home run, and actually, just as he did home run number 7-14, he hit this one on the first time he swung his bat. Well, I agree with him. When he picks his fifth, and he's pretty certain that's the pitch he's looking for, and turns out he's going to hit it pretty good. When? Did you figure it was out? Well, when he first did, I didn't think it might be going because I was watching Wynn and I was watching Buckner. But then the ball just kept carrying, and I watched him when he got the fifth. I knew it was going in.
Well, that's Al Downing talking about the other end, the other side of the coin of Henry Aaron's home run. Russell grounded to short, and Marshall fouled out, and Davy Lopes up there with the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Reed's fastball is high, ball 2, 2-1. Red Patterson, vice president of the Dodgers, thoughtfully went down and got those quotes, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I know you do too. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Davy Lopes, and it's low and away. 5-3 in favor of Atlanta. The count to Davy. Ron Reed checking with Vic Correll, and the right-hander's fastball is inside. So a 2-out walk to Davy Lopes, and that brings up Bill Buckner. Buckner was the one closest to the home run by Henry Aaron, and when the ball went out deep at the 385 sign, Buckner climbed the fence. And he had his back to home plate as he got to the top of the fence, desperately trying to catch it. So Aaron earned every foot of that 390-foot home run and every step around the infield. The pitch to Buckner, a strike. 0-1. 0-1 to Bill Buckner. Buckner waiting. Now Reed at the bell. Looks at Lopes, who bluffs, and Buckner hits it into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Over to get it is Gar. Lopes moves into third. So with 2 out, a walk and a base hit. And Dodgers are at first and third, and the batter is Jimmy Wynn. fastball is foul back. 0-1 the count. The count of Jimmy Wynn. Reed at the belt, Ron delivers, and Wynn takes the strike. 0-2. Here's a strike two pitch, swung on and fouled away. So Jimmy Wynn battling Ron Reed. 0-2 the count. The count of Jimmy Wynn. Reed checking, straightens up. And the strike two pitch on the way is a poker back over the mound down to Davy Johnson, who steps on the bag to Forrest Buckner. No runs are hit, 2 left, and at the end of 4.5, Atlanta 5, Dodgers 3. Okay, Joe, I was just listening to the PA system getting more notes on Henry Aaron's home run. Mike Marshall into the windup, and the pitch is a strike, 0-1 to Dusty Baker. They were saying the ball had a certain series of numbers on it, so there would be no fooling around once it was hit. And if I heard him right, it was 12-12-2-2 marked on the ball. 5-3 in favor of Atlanta. Evans, Henry Aaron, Dusty Baker in that order. Evans grounded out, and there was a board on the air. He takes a change curve low, and the count 1-2. 1-2, the count to Dal Evans. And a screwball is popped in the air into right field. Davy Lopes backs out, calling all the while, and makes the catch. 1 away. Time during the game, he had a standing ovation in the pregame ceremony. He had another standing ovation after he hit the home run. So he leads the league in standing ovations. He's had 5 standing ovations in 5 innings. So Henry's at the plate. Mike Marshall looks into Joe Ferguson to get a sign. Mike, bare arms, scratches at the dirt in front of the rubber, then on the rubber, and Aaron gets in. There's so many pictures that are marked indelibly in my mind now about tonight. Screwball for a strike on 1. First it was Aaron really hitting it. It wasn't a fly ball home run. He really crushed it. Secondly, the Dodgers shaking his hand as he ran around the infield. Fastball, a one-hopper to stay. Ron has it and throws it out. And then I guess the thing I'll never forget, Aaron's father standing at home plate. And imagine the pride in a father who had to work so hard and get so little to support 8 children. And then his mother throwing her arms around his neck, kissing him for all she was worth. I think that was it. That's the scene I remember more than anything else. What a moment. Mike Marshall's pitch is swung on and missed on 1. Marshall back with a screwball, squirted foul off first, and the count 0-2. To Dusty Baker. Marshall hands at his side, checking Ferguson. Now Mike into the windup, and the strike two pitch, a fastball over strike three call. Marshall has turned in a tremendous job in relief, undermined by the Dodger lapse in defense, and the Braves are out in order in the fifth. And at the end of five, Atlanta 5 and the Dodgers 3. At the end of five, the Braves 5 runs on 2 hits. Oh, what a story. One of those 2 hits, the home run by Henry Aaron. For the Dodgers, 3 runs, 5 hits, and 4 errors. For the Dodgers, Joe Ferguson, Willie Crawford, and Ron Cey. Both feet on the rubber now, and the big guy from LaPorte, Indiana, ready to go to work to Ferguson. And the fastball is high, ball 1, 1-0. Reed comes back to the plate, and it's fouled over the screen into the lower deck. 1-1. We've mentioned the weather here in Atlanta. It is very cold. It had rain, so it's damp, and the wind is carrying a bit of a night. So a lot of folks have taken off. It's a Monday night. They're going home. The 1-1 pitch is a bouncer hit down to Marty Perez. The shortstop has it and throws out Ferguson. 1 away. But they saw what they came to see, and that makes it quite a night. And Willie Crawford, the batter, grounded to short and struck out. Reed ready and delivers. Fastball, line drive, and a sprawling catch by Perez, but it goes off his glove when he hits the ground, and Crawford is aboard with a base hit. A fine diving attempt for Perez, but he couldn't hold it. So Crawford aboard, and that'll bring up Ron Cey. Back to the box and fly to center. Jerry, I'm just wondering, what are you going to try to do for the post-game show, do you think?
I think they're going to have a press conference with Henry in the room that was set aside near the Braves dugout, clubhouse, and we'll go there, and hopefully we can bring at least part of that press conference. There'll be several hundred writers in the room, or as many as there are, asking you questions, and we'll do that as much of it as we can. And also, we might let the folks hear how you describe the home run again. We'll have a little bit around the post-game show, but I think mainly we'll be in the clubhouse and listen to what Henry has to say and answer the question.
That's great. We'll all look forward to that for sure. Crawford now at second as the pitch gets away, and Cey takes a breaking ball low. So a one-out single, wild pitch. Crawford at second, 2-0 to count to Ron Cey, and it's 5-3 Atlanta. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Reed ready and delivers, and as a half swing tapper back at second base and into center field, Crawford scores, and Cey checks his swing and drives in a run. So for Ronnie, things are going just fine. That's his 8th RBI. The Dodgers are close now. It's Atlanta 5 and the Dodgers 4. And the batter will be Steve Garvey. So 5-4 Atlanta. And here's Garvey, infield single and fouled out. Reed ready and delivers. And Steve takes low, ball 1. The Braves are going to get somebody up in the bullpen. They take the tarp off. 1-0 the count. Reed ready, checks and delivers. Changes just outside. Ball 2, 2-0. This story is not over, not by a long shot. First of all, in order for Aaron's home run to count, it has to be an official game. They have to have an outcome to it. The pitch is swung on and missed. 2-1. In the 6th inning, and the Braves are leading 5-4. Reed straight straightens up, now set at the belt. Looks to stay and delivers. Fastball, grounded to third. Darrell Evans has it. Down to second for fourth, and that's all. Stay going in hard to tie up Davy Johnson. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Russell has a double and grounded out. He's had a rough night in the field, committing 2 errors, and one of them helped give the Braves 4 runs. So Downing was very unlucky tonight. He got no support whatsoever. Reed, a check to first and delivers, and the pitch is popped up, back of the plate. Ferrero comes back to the backstop screen, and he can't get it. It's on the other side of the screen. 0-1 the count to Bill Russell. Danny Porcella, throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. Ex-Met. Whereas Capra was recently sold from New York to the Mets. The pitch fouled away 0-2. In fact, there was a note in the papers. The Mets and the Braves have been involved in something like 24 deals. 24 deals. And the most recent, the sale of Capra. Reed, ready, delivers. Fastball, bounce down to Davy Johnson. Davy has it, goes to first, that'll do it. The Dodgers, however, get a run on a couple of hits. And at the end of 5.5 innings, Braves 5, Dodgers 4. Sixth inning. The Braves leading the Dodgers 5-4. Mike Marshall in relief of starting pitcher Al Downing. The headline story, of course, was Henry Aaron's home run with the man aboard in the 4th inning, number 715, to eclipse the Braves. And now the ball game itself is of great interest. Mike Marshall waiting for a loose baseball to be retrieved by Willie Crawford. Johnson, Vic Correll, and Marty Perez in that order. Marshall up on top, Joe Ferguson wig-wagging signs out, and Davy Johnson waiting. Mike into the windup, and the right-hander's first pitch. Screwball bunted off to the right and foul. 0-1. The count. The ball's in 1 strike. Marshall reading Ferguson. Now Mike into the windup, and the strike 1 pitch on the way. Screwball pulled back a third, knocked down, but that's all, I say. It trickles through into left field. Johnson holding with a single to retrieve by Buckner. Davy Johnson singles off Say's glove. That was a solid base hit. Say would have made a fine play to get him. The batter will be Vic Correll, the catcher. We're waiting for Correll. Marty Perez is out in the on-deck circle. They haven't... Vic Correll coming up. Mike Marshall waiting for Ferguson to settle in a crouch behind the plate. Correll, smallish right-hand batter. Marshall will look over at Davy Johnson. 5-4 Atlanta in the bottom of the 6th inning. Marshall ready, delivers screwball, grounded to say, he juggles it, picks it up, there's the left for fourth, and the Dodgers mess up another. That was a double play ball. So they are really having the jitters tonight, maybe because of the Aaron influence, but whatever. Their inability to make a play, plus their 4 errors. have contributed heavily to the Atlanta 5-4 lead. That was another double play ball. So Marshall must be wondering about the defense on this club. He's done everything imaginable. The Dodgers just can't get him out for him. Here's Perez. Marshall at the belt, and Mike delivers. Screwball, that's the side. 0-1. Marshall is due up first when the Dodgers hit in the 7th. So to get ready for that, and a possible hitter, Charlie Huff throwing knuckleballs in the Dodger bullpen. Marshall checking. Ferguson hangs out a sign. Now Mike delivers. Screwball low. 1-1. Warner Olsen with great faith in Marshall, but also faith in his bullpen, because it was kind of early when you think about it. You figured Marshall was a finisher, but he came into the game in the 4th inning. Mike checking with Ferguson. Marty Perez waiting. Ron Reed on deck. Marshall screwball in the dirt. 2-1. Marshall straddling the rubber. Turns on, looks over to first. Mike ready. The 2-1 pitch is lined to right field for a base hit. Crawford over to get it. The second and going to third is Terrell. And so, because they missed the double play, the Dodgers are in trouble again. First and third with one out. And the batter will be Ron Reed, or maybe a hitter, because Reed has been called away by Eddie Matthews. So a base hit to put runners at first and third. Here in the inning, Johnson singled. Terrell hit a double play ball to save, but Ron was handcuffed and then could only get a fourth. Now a base hit by Perez, and evidently we'll have a hitter for Marty Perez, for Ron Reed. Could be Johnny Oates, a left-hand hitting catcher. And we're waiting. Dave Davidson, a plate umpire, walking over near the Atlanta dugout to just say, come on now, it's cold out here. Dave was a wise man. He's wearing a turtleneck. Les Capra is now throwing in the Atlanta bullpen instead of Danny Frisella. And Johnny Oates, the left-hand hitting catcher, is coming up to hit for Reed. So each time the Dodgers make a mistake in the last couple of innings, Matthews is not only grateful for the mistake, he's going to try and cash it in. So when Terrell hit a double play ball and Russell dropped it, he then batted for Robinson with Pepperdino, who walked to force over a run. Now Stay missed the double play, and so he's going to try to cash that in. And he has Johnny Oates batting for Ron Reed. So Reed went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, 7 hits, and he can be the winning pitcher. Whereas Capra has been throwing in the Atlanta bullpen, along with Danny Frisella. So Johnny Oates at the plate. Oates is 1 for 8 from that Cincinnati series. Mike Marshall ready to work to him. Perez at first, Corral at third. The pitch to Oates, high, ball 1. The Dodgers have given a hard-hitting team enough walk and have made enough errors for a hard-hitting team to knock them out of sight. But they're still very much in the game, trailing 5-4. Marshall ready. The 1-0 pitch, Oates fastball. That's a ground ball to Russell. He feeds Lopes, who juggles, but they get the out at second. The players are going to argue that Davey was never in possession of the ball. But Goodall is now indicating safe. He had called him out, but when the Braves came out, Eddie then said, no, he's safe. He juggled it. So Davey Lopes juggles the ball, and that's going to be 5 errors for the Dodgers. are putting up a dreadful defense in this game tonight. So an E4 play gives the Braves another run. They're leading 6-4. And with runners at first and second, here's Ralph Garr. Shaking himself. It's cold enough to think he was pitching for Montreal on a bad year. Ralph Garr hit back to the box, bore it on an error, and flied out. His fly ball got a run home, so he's 0 for 2 with a run batted in. 5 Dodger errors. That would be a high or a low, I guess. See how many they made in one game last year. 6. Marshall delivers a punt out the front of the plate. Ferguson, Jackson, and everybody safe. Josie thrown it out. Holy mackerel. They are really playing as if they're in shock. And that would be a kind way to say it. So Garr bunted. Ferguson had the angle to pick the ball up, and he just dropped it. Although they have not flashed errors. Yep, sacrifice error 2. That means a half a dozen errors for the Dodgers. Boy, they're getting it all out tonight. And the batter is Mike Lum. So the Dodgers commit 6 errors. That's the high or the low they've ever had. Russell fields a ground ball and throws to first to get Lum, and the runners move up, and a run comes over. So the Dodgers keep making mistakes, and the Braves keep picking up the runs, and they're leading now as Marty Perez carries in a run. So it's 7-4, Atlanta. Darrell Evans is the batter.
sitting with Kapler on the mound. Kapler is not in the Braves front guy. He was just recently obtained from the New York Mets. Now the exuberant fans trying to jump on the field, and some of the custodians here taking him off. We've had a few run on the field here tonight. This fellow didn't want to leave, and he's getting tough on through tonight. He's being escorted out of the ballpark down the right field corner. A 7-4 Braves lead on a wild and windy night in Atlanta and a historic night in baseball history. Lee Lacy is out on deck. He will bat for Davey Lutz, perhaps. Joshua is up batting now for Marshall. But Lee Lacy comes out on deck. 7-4 the score. Time is called for the moment while we wait for the fan to be escorted off into the far corner in right field. Charlie Huff is still throwing in the Dodger bullpen down in right field. Here's Kapler's pitch to Joshua. Swung and missed. Strike two. 0-2 the count. Overall, 2 strikes. Joshua, who was the Dodgers' leading hitter in spring. Now Kapler ready delivers. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Went for a low breaking ball, and down goes Joshua. Well, that's one away, and the batter now will be Davey. Davey Lutz will not bat. It'll be Lee Lacy instead. So Lacy's going to get to finish up the game. Batting here in the 7th inning. Lacy steps in. Lee on the year has not had an attack. Butler is on deck and wind to follow. The Dodgers are down 7-4, but they have really kicked this one away literally. They have given up 6 errors to the Braves. Now the pitch on the way, breaking ball low. The Braves have 7 runs. They should have only 1. But that's part of the game. The errors are all of it. Lacy, a half-swing foul. Out of play was jammed by that pitch, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lee Lacy, the batter. I'm sure you'll want to hear the remarks from Henry Aaron himself. We will be in the locker room. Henry is interviewed following the game. It'll be a mass-type interview, a press conference thing, and we will be there to pick up his remarks for you. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Lacy takes a curve strike, and it is 1-2. Kapler comes over from the Mets. Porcello is the ex-Met. He's also in the Braves bullpen. They're trying to shore up the bullpen a bit. Lacy takes a fastball down low, ball 2, and the count evens at 2-2. With 1 out and nobody on, the Braves leading 7-4 here in Atlanta. Tomorrow night, Don Sutton goes against Carl Morton. Half of the crowd is gone. Over half, I would say. Now the pitch on the way. At swing check, ball 3, 3-2. Those folks who are in the upper stands and in the outfield are mostly all gone. There are a few remaining in the lower stands in the outfield. Quite a good gathering in the home plate area. Lacy fouls this one back to the wire, and the count is still 3-2 to lead. They had a great turnout. We would guess over 50,000. They have not announced the paid attendance as yet. They do not have a big advance sale for tomorrow night, considering the occasion. Here's the 3-2 pitch.
Jerry, we just heard that when the news reached Washington, D.C., President Nixon put in a call to talk to Henry Aaron. Aaron, at the moment of the call, was in the outfield. So they said they would call back, and when Aaron did come in, they replaced the call in the clubhouse. Aaron talked to the President. He was duly congratulated, and it's just another note on our memorable evening.
Fine, Benny, and here's the attendance, and that should be a new record. This a swing and a foul straight back. 53,775 is a new all-time record here. So the Dodgers hold the top three crowds now in the Atlanta Stadium. We told you earlier about the other two that they had. So this is the top crowd of all, and the Dodgers hold the top three. And in fact, the other one was 52,270, then 51,275, and another large Dodger crowd of 47,000. So the president has congratulated Henry, and it's really an historic occasion in baseball. I'll tell you one thing, all through the whole trial, even last year at the end of the year, when he was chasing the record and getting closer and closer, Henry's conduct was superb. He was a great gentleman about it and very cooperative with everybody. Pitch comes outside the Buckner ball, soon at the 2-1 count. I would imagine that Henry will bat in the bottom of the seventh inning and then leave the game and go into the clubhouse and wait for the press conference after the game. Here's the pitch. High for a ball, and the count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-1 pitch on the way, and it's taken for a strike. Buckner 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's Kapler working here in relief of Ron Reed. The Dodgers are down by 3 runs. They played giveaway here tonight. Now the pitch. Taken low, and Buckner is on with a walk. So Billy Buckner draws a walk. That's the first walk the Dodgers have received tonight, and it brings the Dodge Jimmy win with Joe Ferguson to follow. Strong breeze from left toward right. And had to hit it into the wind, and he hit it well. It carried about 385 over the 385 mark, and as Al Downing said, it was off a fastball. Time called a moment to pick up some spray papers that are blowing around on the home plate area. And off at first is Buckner, the pitch to win. In the dirt, ball 1. Jimmy has a home run in each game that he's played as a Dodger. And tonight, Wynn has driven in 2 runs with a double to left field. Big newspaper picked up by second base umpire Eddie Sudol. Couples it up and stuffs it in his pocket. The 1-0 count, pitch on the way. Third strike to Wynn, and it's 1-1. The Dodgers gave away 2 more runs in the last half of the 6th inning, and those were vital runs. They were almost to catch up to the Braves until they gave those away and then fell back to 3 behind. And now they've got a little more of a hill to climb. It's like kind of ice skate. You take 1 step and slip down. Wynn takes the strike on the inside corner, 1-2 to Jimmy. If the Dodgers lose tonight, that means the Giants are the only unbeaten team left. The Giants won today. They beat the Reds 4-3. The Reds are now 2-2 on the year. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Here's the look and the pitch to Wynn. One and this strike 2. Jimmy strikes out. Side and side for the Dodgers in the 7th inning as Kapler strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left. The score at the end of 6 1/2. Dodgers 4 and Atlanta 7. Well, as we told you, Drysdale felt the sting of Henry's bat many times. Here's Henry stepping in now. And the knuckleball bounces away, ball 1. Don Drysdale is the number 1 victim of all pitchers of Henry Aaron. Don yielded 17, while Osteen 13. So Don dubbed him Bad Henry. There's a swing and a miss at the knuckleball, 1-1. Sandy Koufax allowed 7. Is out of the lineup because of a strained back. We were checking on that, and that's the word that comes up now. The 1-1 pitch to Aaron. On and that's strike 2. Charlie Huff offers up another knuckleball, and Henry, I would imagine, has had a relapse. I would think that he would just have a letdown after all he's gone through all this spring. Time called now as he backs out. He just can't help it out. Another big piece of newspaper comes toward the mound, and Steve Garvey comes over to retrieve and pick it up. base coach Jim Busby will stuff that piece in his pocket. We're certainly glad to be able to sit in on some baseball history. As Vinny told you earlier, we've been very fortunate to see several great records shattered. There's a knuckleball low outside ball, too. Roy Wills in his great record-setting feat. Mike Wilhelm, as he went to the mound time after time in the late days of his career as a Dodger a couple of years ago. Of course, the great performances of Drysdale and Kopach. Knuckleball, top short stretch. Russell comes up toward the bag. Here's on Dutchie, and Aaron is out on the ground ball to short. He gets another ovation as he comes to the dugout, and this might be his last appearance here tonight. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Here's Dusty Baker is out. Single, walk, and struck out. That's the ball is low, ball one. One ball and no strike. Bottom of the seventh inning. Well, I'm trying to think if there are any other records that might be attainable here in the modern day of baseball, but can't none of them come to mind right now, but I'm sure that there might be some more around. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball low, and it's ball free. Is Dusty Baker. But this was the big one. And on the count. By Huff and the pitch on the way. Taken low, ball four, and Dusty Baker's on with a walk. That's the first walk given up by Huff. Baseball, of course, is steeped with tradition. And down through the years, the records have been very meaningful to the fans as well as to the performance on the field. So the records are all a part of it. Johnson is out, and infield hit a walk and a flyout. So he's 1 for 2. The pitch today, knuckleball high, 1 ball and no strike. The game's about 2 hours and a half along now, and we're in the bottom of the seventh inning here in Atlanta. A festive occasion. Folks are still living it as a chilly evening now. But after Henry blasted out, so a lot of folks have the high fly to center field. The Jay runners there. Falls now, waits under it, and handles it for the second out. A lot of folks waited for Henry to hit one more. And now they're beginning to break for the exit. Well, there's a new book out that's just been handed to us, appropriately enough. And the title is simply Aaron, by Henry Aaron, with Furman Fisher, a fine sports writer here in Atlanta. The autobiography of the greatest home run hitter of the modern era is out. And we have a nice copy of it here. You have to have Henry autograph of it for me. All right, there are 2 outs. Waiting is the catcher Corral takes the knuckleball for a strike. Runner at first base, Dusty Baker. For the first, not in time. Charlie Huff trying to keep the runner on. Bottom of the seventh, the Braves lead 7-4. The Dodgers would like to spoil the party, but they've been playing a little loose out there tonight. There's a swing and a foul tip back into the strike 2 to catcher Vic Farrell. The Dodgers with 6 errors tonight. That ties their high of last year. An inglorious shot for us here tonight. They just couldn't forget that. Now again, Charlie Huff working, Corral waiting, pitch on the way. Knuckleball high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 1-2 count. Now throw to first, not in time. again. There's a fly ball in the right field coming up at Crawford. One hand catch to the out to retire the side. So they're all gone in the seventh. No runs, no hits, and one left on. The score at the end of seven. Atlanta 7 and the Dodgers have 4. Now we have a couple of changes for the Braves. Leo Foster takes over at second. Aaron comes out of the game. We have Baker going into the outfield and right. Gar goes to left field, and Roland Office is the new center fielder. So those changes for the Braves. As we go along into the eighth inning, the Dodgers need 3 to catch up against Capper. More play. Let's go back to Vinny.
There are 2 things occurring here tonight that should be reported. One will be a concern to the Braves, although perhaps it is just the weather. First, of course, Aaron hit the home run. But since then, there has been a constant exodus. So by the time this game ends, the ballpark will have just a few spectators in it. And it's on the same night that they had the largest crowd in stadium history, 53,775. It will be interesting indeed to see how many will be here tomorrow night. They had an advance of about 12,000, and we'll see the turnstile count tomorrow evening. The Braves make a couple of changes, and Foster will hit in Johnson's spot, and Office will hit in Aaron's spot. That's a nice thing for a kid named Roland Office. He comes in tonight, and he technically replaces Aaron, and he'll hit in Aaron's spot the night that Aaron hit number 715. So he can tell his folks about, the night Aaron broke it, why I took over for him and finished up hitting number 4. Capper's fastball is outside. Ball 1-1-0. 1-0 the count. Capper, who has done a great job of throttling the Dodgers, struck out the side in the 7th. Ferguson swings and doesn't get it. 1-1. The weather, as cold and as rainy as it was, did not take the edge off the night. It has been a magnificent evening for Aaron and for baseball, and particularly for the 50,000 who came here to see it, and their wishes were granted. Back to the plate, and a little slider is on the outside corner for the second strike. 7 runs on only 4 hits, but one of them heard round the world. 7 runs on only 4 hits, but one of them heard round the world. For the Dodgers, 4 runs, 7 hits, and a half a dozen errors. It's about as bad as they've played in any game in a long time. 2-2 pitch coming up. Half swing, but it's outside. Turkey check, ball 3. And 2, the count of Joe Ferguson. Capper on the rubber. Shaking no, now nods yes. And the 3-2 pitch, fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3. Capper has faced 5 men, and he has struck out 4 of them. And the batter is Willie Crawford. Grounded out, struck out, infield single, and scored a run. So Willie 1 for 3. Out of the game, and his mother and father are no doubt with him, along with his wife. And he will be holding a press conference after the game. We will try, and of course, I'm sure you'll understand there'll be a tremendous amount of post-game confusion and hubbub as the writers, photographers, newspaper, newsreel men, television men, radio men, they will jam a room downstairs, and we will try to cover it for you. Jerry has gone down just to do that. So stay with us. The Henry Aaron night is not over. For a 1-1 pitch, fastball outside, ball 2, 2-1. In the Dodger bullpen, Jim Brewer is loosening up. Buzz Capper, recently purchased by the Braves. The 2-1 pitch to Crawford, a half swing foul, and the count 2-2. 7-4 in favor of the Braves, top of the 8th inning. Capra looks down to get a sign from Vic Carell, the catcher. The infield of Mike Lerman, Leo Foster, Marty Perez, and Darrell Evans. The outfield of Ralph Garr, Roland Office, and Dusty Baker. Ron Reed is the pitcher of record. He went out a winner, and Capra trying to preserve it for him. The pitch of strike 3 called, and so Capra is on the remarkable side. He has struck out 5, facing 6 batters. And the batter is Ron Say. Ron Say hit back to the box, slide to center, and single. He's 1 for 3. Fastball low, backhanded by Carell, ball 1. 1-0. That strong breeze to right field has been with us all night. Now the 1-0 part is low. 2-0 the count to Ron Say. Now the 2-0 pitch to Say is a high chopper to third. Evans gloves it, straightens up, and goes across to Lerman. That's it. The Dodgers roll over in the 8th. The end is 7.5. Atlanta 7 and the Dodgers 4.
Well, once again, to remind you that we will stay with the Dodgers radio network right after this ball game and pick up what the Dodgers may provide for us following and the conversation with Hank Aaron in the Atlanta dressing room. We told you earlier how the San Francisco Dodgers knocked off the Reds. We'll tell you again, Gary Maddox slammed in all 4 Giant scores and a home run and a single to lead the Giants to a 4-3 win over Cincinnati. That's a win as the Giants' 4th of the year. Cincinnati is 2-2. The American League game involved the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. And the Yankees, scoring heavily in the late innings for the 3rd straight game, swept their opening series with the Indians with a 5-3 victory. George Medich was relieved in the 9th after giving up a leadoff single, and he picked up the win. What proved to be the winning run in that game was scored in the 7th inning against left-hander Tom Hilgendorf. With 1 out, Ron Bloomberg and Greg Nettles put runners on 1st and 3rd, and Bloomberg scored when Bill Sudeikis forced Nettles.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Atlanta leading the Dodgers 7-4. The Dodgers with Al Downing, and of course Downing served it up, number 715 in the 4th inning to Henry Aaron. Then Downing relieved by Marshall and then Hub. Mike Marshall did a tremendous job in relief, but the Dodgers just kicked the ball around. However, it is Downing's game to lose. Charlie Huff worked the last inning, and he'll be pitching to Marty Perez, then Buzz Capra, and the leadoff man, Ralph Garr. Ready, and a knuckleball is inside. Ball 1, 1-0. The press room looks like a scene out of the front page. Writers banging away on the typewriters, on the telephone, side to side. The comebacker to Charlie Huff, and he flips over to Garvey. 1 away. The batter will be Buzz Capra. Capra, right-hand batter, and Charlie Huff looks down to get his eye, and the knuckleballer ready and delivers. And the first one is low and away, ball 1. Tomorrow night, Don Sutton will go after his 2nd victory. The next one is low, ball 2, 2-0. warm-up time tomorrow will be at 4:10 and game time at 4:30. The 2-0 pitch, low ball 3. The Braves delayed the start of the game tonight by a half hour because of the pregame ceremonies honoring Aaron. But they'll go back to the normal starting time, which means a 4:30 game and airtime for the warm-up show at 4:10. The 3-0 pitch is low ball 4. To Kepra draws a 1-out walk, and the batter will be Ralph Garr. I'm not sure of the official start of the game. It certainly wasn't 8:05 local time. It's about 2.5 hours old. Ralph Garr is back to the box, aboard on an error, had a scoring fly ball and sacrifice. Well, Garr is 0 for 2. He takes a knuckle high that gets away from Ferguson to the backstop. Capper to second base and holding there. It'll be a pass ball charged to Joe Ferguson. 1-0 the count. To his stretch, looks at second, works the plate. The knuckler swung on and missed. 1-1. Off again, Sad. Looks at Capra, works the plate way outside. One-handed by Ferguson, wearing that big waffle mitt. 2-1 the count. Off has a look at second base, and the 2-1 pitch, Garr takes a dancer on the inside corner for a strike and nods his head yes. Good pitch. He bailed out. And still got the corners. Braves scored once in the second. The Dodgers got 3 in the third. The Braves scored 4 times in the fourth, and the big moment was Aaron hitting a 2-run home run. It was the first time that he swung the bat tonight. The first time he swung the bat in Cincinnati, it was a home run for 7-14. And the first time he let it fly tonight, it was number 7-15. Because he walked without swinging the bat in the second inning. And the first pitch to Aaron in the fourth inning was ball 1. And then he swung, and that was it. The 2-2 pitch is chased and missed. Garr looking awkward, trying to flag that knuckleball. Down he goes. And the batter is Mike Lum. Lum is 0 for 4. The game, the score, the totals are almost incidental, of course, to Henry Aaron night here. Don Sutton trying to get the Dodgers back on the right track. They've committed 6 errors tonight. The pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. For the Dodgers, a tough break after the beautiful weather in Los Angeles, where they won 3 straight from San Diego. They come over here and, oh, what a night. Tornado warning, cold, wind, rain. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed, 1-1. The field littered with papers, paper bags, partly from the wind and partly from the crowd's enthusiasm when Aaron hit the home run. Here's the 1-1 pitch. The knuckler fouled away, and the count 1-2. To Mike Lum. Dal Evans on deck. 7-4 Atlanta here in the 8th inning. When the Dodgers bat in the 9th, they'll have Garvey, Russell, and a hitter for Huff. Charlie's knuckler fouled away. 1-2. Runs, 4 hits for Atlanta, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 6 errors for the Dodgers. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way, knuckleball punched down to Say. Ron is up with it. The long throw to Garvey in time. So the 8th inning, no runs, no hits, a man left, and at the end of 8, Braves 7, Dodgers 4.
Well, we've told you about the National League and the American League, and of course there's a few more things going on other than baseball, notably basketball. In the National Basketball Association playoffs on Sunday, New York 106, Capital 105. New York leads that series 3-2. Boston and Buffalo, also in that Eastern Division, those two teams did not play, and that series is tied at 2 each. In the Western Conference playoffs, Detroit tied that series at 2 games apiece with Chicago by knocking off the Bulls 102-87. Milwaukee clinched its series against Los Angeles by beating the Lakers 114-92, and Milwaukee wins that series 4-1. So the Milwaukee Bucks will go into the National Basketball Association Championship, or actually it'll be the Western Conference playoff against the winner of the Chicago-Detroit series. That was it Sunday. Nothing scheduled Monday in the NBA. In the American Basketball Association, just 1 game played Sunday. New York 116, Virginia 88.
9th inning, Atlanta leading the Dodgers 7-4. And in the 9th, the Dodgers will have Steve Garvey, followed by Bill Russell, and we'll see about a hitter for Charlie Huff. There's Capra on the phenomenal side and struck out 5 in 2 innings. The smallest right-hander formerly with New York, trying to finish it up and hand Ron Reed a victory. Steve Garvey, aboard on an infield single, has fouled out and hit it to a 4th place hit. The 9th. First game of a 4-game series. The Dodgers playing 4 in Atlanta, 3 in Houston, and 2 in Cincinnati. And Buzz Capra ready to work. Right-hander into the windup, and the pitch to Garvey. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. 1-0. To Steve is in there for a strike. 1-1. Don't forget the post-game show. We're going to try and bring you all the excitement in the Aaron interview as Garvey fires one off to the right and out of play, rattling down below, and the count 1-2. Henry Aaron will hold a press conference for all the writers and media in attendance, and boy, there are a lot of them. And Jerry will be down there, hopefully able to get it all to you. So stay right with us. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3, and Buzz Capra has struck out a half a dozen of the 7 outs that he has gotten. The batter is Bill Russell. Double, grounded out twice. He's 1 for 3. Has a look at a pitch high and outside. Ball 1. 1-0. Now Capper's 1-0 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-1. The throw from Vic Correll goes out into center field, and Marty Perez goes away out to get it. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 1 down in the 9th inning, 7-4 Atlanta. On Henry's 9th, Aaron hit number 715 in the 4th inning. He has hit more home runs in the big leagues than any other man in history as he passed the Babe tonight. Boy, the the city really went on its ear for him in a pregame ceremony, and then they went wild when he finally hit it in the fourth inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Bill Russell. Fastball over at the knees for strike, 1-2. Into the windup. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and foul back and out of play. 7-4 Atlanta in the ninth. Dodgers won 6 out of 8 played here last year. They won all 9 of the games played at Dodger Stadium. The 1-2 slider is hit wide at third. Tricky hop. Evans stays with it and gets him. So the Dodgers down to their last out, and it'll be Manny Mota coming up to bat for Charlie Huff. So Manny Mota batting for Charlie Huff, and for Manny will be his first appearance of the year. Dodgers already used Von Joshua and Lee Lacy as pinch hitters. They each struck out. And so Mota is the third pinch hitter. Capra delivers. Fastball hits the right center field towards the alley, but coming over is Baker to backhanded on the run. Fine running catch by Dusty Baker. And so on Henry's night, the Braves have beaten the Dodgers 7-4. We'll have the totals right after this message.
Again, we invite you to stay with us on the AFR-CS Parade of Sports, because the Dodger Network, along with hundreds of radio and television and press people, will be in the Atlanta clubhouse. Or actually, it probably will not be in the clubhouse. They say they have a special room designated for the interview with Hank Aaron after this ball game. And so don't you go away. Be with us, because we're going to stay right with the Dodgers Network and tune in as they talk with Hank Aaron, who has hit career home run number 715, obviously the all-time Major League high, beating Babe Ruth's record of 714. Al Downing of the Dodgers, the pitcher who threw that home run pitch, said he would not change his way of pitching and working the ball game. He said there's a small chance of his walking Aaron, which he actually did do the first time Aaron came to bat. Downing says he is excited, but also knows he has a job to do. And Aaron hit 2 home runs against Downing previously to this season.
The totals on the ball game for Atlanta: 7 runs, only 4 hits, for one of them Aaron's blow, and no errors. For the Dodgers, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 6 errors. They hit a low for the year and for quite a while, and their inability to pick up the ball or hold it or throw it accurately certainly contributed heavily to Atlanta's victory. Tomorrow night, Don Sutton will try and get them back on the track. Now, if you possibly can, well, stay right with us, because the story is not over yet. We've already heard once from Henry Aaron. We hope to hear a lot more from him in the special press conference, which will be held in a small room put aside just for that duty, and it's alongside the Atlanta Braves clubhouse. So stay with us, and we'll try and pick it all up and send it back to you, because it's been quite a night here in Atlanta. Once again, the final score of the ball game: the Braves 7 and the Dodgers 4. Well, now this is Vin Scully along with Jerry Doggett, inviting you to stay tuned to the post-game show coming right up.